soon. Maybe get some lights. Just gonna play a video game. It's updating. It's gonna take a while. I'm gonna do a book review instead. Sorry, it's kind of late. Let's see. Fingerprints of the Gods. I haven't read it, so I can't. Let's see. This doesn't collapse. Here's an alright one. The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. Volume 1 by Drunvalo Melchizedek. There's a picture in the back. I don't know if you can see the things is focusing. And yeah, it's an interesting book. It's obviously on like metaphysics and stuff like that. And the author, Drunvalo, claims to come from a line of mysticism that originates from the Melchizedek line, from the Bible or something. He claims some kind of like alchemical, mystical heritage from that, and kind of tries to explain. Oh, and yeah, this is kind of like the source material for spirit science, or spiritual science, spirit science. I mean, you know, those animated videos that were coming out for a while that were on like metaphysics, you know, chakras and like Earth's, you know, ancient past and stuff like that, you know, like Earth's alternative history. And a lot of it is actually, and they themselves have quoted and said that it actually comes from here. And if you read this and you watch their videos, you'll see that that's, you know, that is basically the case. And so, yeah, it's a cool book. Has cool stuff like that. Let's see. Table of contents. Remembering our ancient past. See? How the fall of Atlantis changed our reality. Gathering the anomalies. My story. My story. Berkeley beginnings, dropping out to Canada. The two angels and where they led me. Alchemy and the first appearance of Thoth. And yeah, he's a big time Thoth guy. Just like spirit science dudes. And so, yeah, and he goes around Thoth and stuff like that. You know, explains different things. Kind of brushes up on, or kind of like touches on certain topics. You know, I don't know if you can see that. The flower of life carved at, where is it? Some kind of, where's it at? Figure 226. These wheels are ancient tomes. I don't know, they're famous. They're famous carvings. They're, man, it's that old temple that's, what is it? It's not the Dendera stone. Is it Karnak? I don't fucking know that. Anyway. And he also explains, you know, he goes into vibrations, wavelengths, sine waves, sacred geometry, whatever that is, precession of the equinox. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear my dog. What else? Ooh, this reminds me of another book. What else? let's see, Nephilim mothers, Adam and Eve, Rising of Lemuria. That's pretty cool. Lemuria, that's pretty cool that, he has something on them, Lemuria sinks, Atlantis rises. What is this? One of the sections. The aborted evolution of consciousness and the creation of the Christ grid. And so, yeah, Christ grid, and he talks about how, like, there's, like, it's like a grid and geometry, and, we're at certain stages, and certain people created, they're like these artificial grids. And, so, yeah, I'm not saying that everything in here is true and accurate. He seems to kind of, fall in line with a lot of people that are writing about stuff like this, and they're trying to, like, kind of cash in on this. And I don't know, he's kind of a weird case, because he's not really that, in a spirit sciences, those guys are known a lot more than I guess in the public eye a lot more than these guys. You hear about those guys a lot more than Drunvalo. So I don't know if that's intentional, and he's kind of an obscure guy. But and like I said, I'm not, he has volume 2, I think, and he doesn't, I don't know, kind of don't want to say too much. I guess I could say some things I disagree with. He kind of gives all credit to Thoth for everything. Like the fall of man. He's like, oh, it was Thoth, but he did it, because he cares about us, because he knows, like, in the future, it's gonna help us. And I don't know. Even if that was the case, still dick. You know what I mean? We're chilling, man. You're an asshole. Just kidding. But yeah. Secret Flower of Life. I don't know if that's good enough for you. You just, especially because of the subject matter. I mean, let me see. Let me go over the book of contents a little bit more. So, remembering our ancient past. It's like it's separated into sections. See that in the bold? And under the bold was like so what was the last one? Secret Flower unfolds, the darker side of our present and the past, the aborted evolution of consciousness and the creation of the Christ grid, Egypt's role in the evolution of consciousness, significance of shape and structure, I'm just kind of like, sacred geometry. The measuring stick of the universe, the human body, and its geometry. So yeah, there you go. So that's obviously like fractals and shit like that. Reconciling the Fibonacci and binary polarity, whatever that is. So yeah, those are just sections, and like under each section, as you can see, is like a lot of little subjects he kind of like points out. And the book is not that huge, it's not super thick, and the print is not that small, I guess there's a lot of words. He's got all the good words. But so he doesn't really go he gives a lot of good interesting information, I guess. But yeah, he definitely doesn't go in depth. I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but I was just kind of like, I don't know if you're like omitting these details on purpose, or if you're just, saving them for volume 2. I haven't read volume 2. I don't know. Tiamat and Nibiru. So yeah, it's a lot of, it's a lot of pretty hokey stuff, I guess. If you think about it. Sacred geometry, Nibiru, Atlantis. But It has a lot of interesting kind of like it does. You know what? Yeah, it does give a lot of interesting information as to important perspectives on the philosophy of metaphysics. That it does do. So it is kind of helpful if you can just I don't know. I would kind of like thumb through it at the bookstore. Maybe not. Maybe not. Uh, Try to see if you can borrow a copy. Maybe not. I'm not saying it's not worth buying. I mean, if you're a if you're a thoth person, go ahead, purchase this book. But yeah, I'm not. I think it's interesting. I think the whole thoth thing is interesting, but I'm not down with, you know, giving total credit and allegiance to deities in a way, or worship in a way. I don't know. I don't really like doing that. Not in public, anyway. But yeah, he just gives him credit for everything. So it's just like, and maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. Who knows? Maybe some of it's true. Maybe he is a thing, or maybe he's just a concept. Who knows? I mean, a lot of things are coming out now. Notions are coming out now that this stuff is just so way beyond our head that we just, I don't know. This is just our way of kind of like coping with it. If you know what I mean. Like creating these, or maybe they do operate like this on some level. But yeah, Drunvalo Melchizedek, interesting, kind of enigmatic because he's obscure. But then there was that spirit science thing that was kind of like all over YouTube, and then all over Facebook, and then I first, I think I was introduced to this book first through trying to like look into sacred geometry and stuff like that, and then drop on a secret flower of life, and looking into flower of life, the seed of life, and looking into all that stuff, and it's interesting. I still, a lot of it's still way over my head, and I still don't really understand it, but it is interesting. I do kind of like get it from a natural aspect and how it kind of like manifests in nature. I'm starting to kind of like understand that in a way, or in a very little way, or like starting to like maybe not scratch the surface, but I'm starting to see the surface. But yeah, he does give a lot of interesting information. Nice kind of like reference guide, and that's what's good about these books. They're kind of like a cool reference guide for a lot of different types of topics. Yeah, and supposedly he like went to Berkeley but dropped out, I think, and then like was even mentored by like this alchemist that actually knew how to create gold, how to synthesize gold somehow. He actually knew it, and taught Drunvalo, but Drunvalo like has taken an oath never to divulge the secrets. Yep. Yep. I know I'm kind of talking shit, but I don't know. I wouldn't put that in a book if I really gave a shit, I don't know, maybe it really is important to say that type of stuff, like if you want to show your credibility. I don't know. Like, who are you trying to show off to? I guess. I don't know. So yeah, all around, it's an okay book if you're into mysticism, and alternative viewpoints and looking into sacred geometry. And, it's a pretty good introductory guide. Gives a good rundown for metaphysical things. May not be true in like a literal sense, or like in a physical sense, or in like current reality sense, but maybe true on some level, somewhere, somehow. I don't fucking know. This guy's obviously playing on some principles, but yeah, it is interesting. Cover's really nice and flashy. It's purple and gold. Ooh, it's almost like a talisman in itself. You just hang it up on the wall. Alright, see ya.